Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Bensday with Batgirl Ben. I don't know why I forgot the name of my own show last week. That was kind of messed up. I call that old person brain. I'm going to be 51 in a week from tomorrow.
You look very good for 51.
Yeah, thank you. I do my best to keep myself in shape. And
Not me!
yeah, well, you've been doing something, haven't you? You said that
Yes,
you were.
yes, I've been on my, Allie and I've been on our diet for the last 8 weeks or so. It's going well.
You know, it's a conspiracy. The United States government made them put sugar in everything, so there's no way for you to lose weight, right? That's what my fundamentals of healthy living teacher said or professor says at school. So we have to eat everything that's grown in the earth. Kale does not taste that great.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it's no cheeseburger.
No, it's not a cheeseburger, and it's definitely not Sarah's homemade fries downstairs. Oh. We're having a good meal tonight. We're having homemade chicken stir fry, so that should be good.
I am actually skipping dinner tonight because we're doing a team trip to see the Batman versus Superman, which is for whatever reason 3 hours long. So
well, there is a reason for that, and it's because they're trying to do what Marvel did in many movies in one movie. Mm-hmm. They're setting up a whole universe, so it's like, here's Aquaman, here's Batman, here's Superman, here's Wonder Woman, and all right, now we're going to do Justice League after this, instead of origin movies for everybody, right?
Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Well, we had an origin movie for Superman. We had Man of Steel. That was good. That was a really good movie. You're not going to like this then, Ben.
Well, I dislike Man. I know it's the director, but I dislike Man of Steel because there's this point in the movie specifically where he's working at the diner and some trucker's being a jerk to him, and they're like, "No, turn the other cheek, and he doesn't fight the guy. Like, okay, cool. This is Superman. This is like the Jesus story. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then you had to have that tag on the end where, oh, he destroyed the guy's truck. That's not Superman.
That's not.
That's like petty revenge.
But you know, we live in a different world where movies that are dark, like think about the movie that did the best so far in the whole superhero universe. It was Deadpool.
Yeah.
You know, and we are in a darker universe, right? Darker.
I'm not looking forward to the next 2 years of other people trying to make an R-rated superhero movie.
Oh yeah, R-rated super. Yeah, let's make an R-rated Captain America. Language, please. I'm sorry. I love the Marvel universe. So, we had a lot happen over the last week. Tickets went really fast for CitizenCon. I'm sure.
Very fast. They were just the right kind of fast for us because they sold out in like 2 hours, which meant that people who really wanted them could get them. But it wasn't one of those situations like javelins where they're all gone in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean that was nuts. Who would have known that a $2,500 ship would have sold that fast, though? I mean, think about it.
Not
right?
me.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have hit lotto with some of these ships. How did the blade sale go? Is it going well?
Very well. Well, it's interesting. I mean, it's going. We've actually sold a lot more blades than we expected, but we're seeing a lot more use of store credit, which I think is because we didn't have concept sales for 4 or 5 months, so that people have been playing with their accounts and they have all these
Auroras like me. I buy an Aurora every couple of weeks, so I melted them to buy the blade.
Yeah, but we sold like 9,000 or something of them total.
Oh, that's awesome! That's awesome.
So it's been great, and hopefully everybody has a chance to have their Vandal fighter now, and we don't have to do this again.
How close to the Gladius is it going to be? Now, I've seen what they say in the Q&A. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this ship? And I mean, it's more than concept drawings, right? It's actually in Squadron 42, right?
Yeah, we've got a model in there right now that's not going to be the final model. I think people who had the leaks actually saw the earlier blade. So there's an updated model coming, which is one of the things this sale lets us do. But yeah, no, it's a fast little ship.
Okay, so it's something that you could take on the race course. I mean, they were like when we looked at that was kind of like a vague answer they gave.
I think they don't want to be committal because they know how very, very specific everyone will hold them to any answer they give right now, and we're still a couple months of balancing away from it being locked down.
All right. Well, I came out as being very critical against the price point of the blade, and then I started taking a step back, and I wound up buying one because I needed to look at it in context to what the actual plan is for these Vandal ships. They are not supposed to be out there for everyone. Everyone can get one some way or another, but not really, right?
I mean, we don't really want so many of them out there.
Yeah.
We've actually sold more than we anticipated. But it is a balancing thing. I know everybody wants a Vandal ship. Everybody wants a ship that costs less money. It's, those two parts of the Venn diagram are never gonna overlay. So, our basis is $300 for the scythe.
Right.
Up from the scythe, the next level up is the glaive at $350, and the next level down is the blade at $250. And it wouldn't make sense to undercut everybody with, oh, by the way, here 2 years later, we've done a really, really cheap ship that everybody can have, and up for yours, everyone else.
Yeah.
You have to balance.
And you don't want UE space filled with Vandal ships. I mean, that's not what we're looking for, right?
So.
And these are older ships that used to be used for aggressor training, and now they're not, because now I guess they're using the glaive or something else that we don't know about, right?
Yeah, it's because we use a similar backstory for the glaive, and this is one of my favorite things I got to do for Star Citizen recently is write these sale posts about how you shouldn't buy it with the government group protesting, there's friendly fire accidents, and the Vandal are targeting them specifically. That was getting spooked. They got snow in the nines. And can we actually make the Vandal target them specifically? Yeah, sure, that's easy. So, I like getting to do sales copy where it tells you not to buy it.
So, for the people that have upgraded one of their ships, will they also get like the poster and other things in their the model in their hangar at some point?
Yeah, I think the system may not show it, but we will work that out.
All right, good, because people are going to ask that. So you also introduced in the latest PTU patch the Starfarer. That thing is freaking beautiful, Ben.
Thank you. I can take no credit for it.
I know. Just you got to tell Aaron from me that his team rocks.
I will. Aaron is here this week, actually.
Yeah,
so
I'll go get him. You're right. No, but seriously, that is a gorgeous ship, and it also has grown like everything else you give Foundry 42. You give him an Idris, it goes from a Corvette to a frigate. You give him what was an 18-wheeler, and it grows into a super tanker.
Yeah, the idea was that it would be a two-seat space truck, with a big pod in the back of it, and they went above and beyond again.
So $195, brand new, in the last sale. What's the next sale price going to be for that?
I think it's going to $300.
All right.
It's been totally repriced for the new size and components.
$105 more for it does not really change. It doesn't hurt me. That makes sense. And it does give the people that bought it early kind of like a thank you for helping us, right?
I'm glad we can finally do that because, the intention all along has been to have these ships be more and more expensive. And in general, we find that we price the early ones pretty well. We stick to it, and maybe there's a $15, $20 increase when we go back and look at it again. This one is just whoosh.
Okay. So how does the sale of ships change when we could walk into Area 18 and start buying them there? Is that going to be when you start selling us UEE dollars?
Well, we sell the credits right now, and you also have to be able to earn them in the game before the store makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's not too far from now. We're working on the metrics for the. People have heard they've had shopping in an upcoming build, and we are, as part of it, it's not just going to be clothes and pants and such. We're also getting ready to do some of the starters and have ships you can actually buy in the Proto universe. So we'll see that very soon.
So does that? Do you guys have like a working matrix in your head, or maybe on paper now, on how dollars to UEE is going to work? There is one now, but will that change?
No plans for it to change in terms of $1 is 1,000 credits, and we can change that exchange rate at any time in the future for balancing purposes. No reason to do it right now. What you will see in the finished universe is that ships are several times more expensive in terms of earned credits.
Okay. All right, and that would make sense because if you're going to be able to stay in game and play, I believe it was at one point Chris had said a long, long time ago when 10 for the Chairman first started that maybe you would be playing consistently for 60 hours to be able to make enough money to buy a baseline constellation.
That is about on track with what we're thinking. I hate giving numbers like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know.
Everybody jumps on them and like, oh, no, it took me 47 hours, and you said 60. The world is ending.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict, but that is in the same ballpark that we're looking at right now.
All right. And, the buying of credits and the buying of ships gives somebody that doesn't have all the time in the world an opportunity to actually buy a ship that they might not be able to spend the time playing the game, right? You're doing something over there. You're not paying attention to me.
I got to learn. I'm sorry.
The last time you didn't pay attention to me, we started the whole saber stealth, right? Yeah.
I was paying attention.
Okay. I'm going to throw some really hard questions at you when you do that, so we start another controversy.
Let's start another controversy.
Yeah, right? So $105 more, not so bad. I think that's pretty good. So whose vision in their head was the Cartual, the Xi'an ship?
Oh, mine really, really on.
Okay. So in the beginning, the way that you explained it was it had a unique way of being powered, and it was going to have the thrusters on tendrils, right?
Yeah.
That's not working out so well, is it?
No. Plenty of changes in the past 3 years, and that'll always happen.
I gave you kudos, or I gave CIG kudos, because, if you think about it aerodynamically, astrodynamically, whichever way, it was never going to work because eventually you would have your tendrils in a way where if you just turn the ship a little bit, you go unstable. That started to happen in the game, right?
Yeah.
So you guys did a very unique thing. You moved the engines, or I should say the main thrusters. They're not really thrusters like a 300i would have. They're still maneuvering jets in your eyes, right?
Yeah.
But we shouldn't be disappointed if you have to go to something like a main thruster unit and then maneuvering jets on it, right?
I mean, we'll keep playing with it until it works.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever off the table.
Well, I think that if they could take a inherently unstable plane like the X-29 that Grumman made with the forward swept wing and program it to fly stably through computers, right? Fly by wire. I think that somebody over there will be able to do that eventually for that ship. I mean, it's a beautiful ship. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the alien ships have the same issue, is that they are designed to use technology that the other ships don't have and that are not in the game yet. That, sort of more fly-by-wire, just like you're saying.
Okay. So what's the difference between a scout and a light fighter?
Scout is longer range than a light fighter. But, I mean, also the Jean don't use the same system. We don't have a light, medium, heavy fighter for the Jean. They have a scout and a transport and whatever.
Okay. Well, we're not at war with them. We're kind of allied with them now, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, boy. Well, I mean, they're building service stations in UAE space. We have to be allied with them somehow. Or is it like we're allied with Russia?
Yeah, it's more like kind of the relationship with China right now. They make all their good stuff, but there's some tension.
Okay, that's.
And we set up all these empires and all this fiction so that in the future we can take it in all sorts of possible directions.
Oh, that's weird. So, are we subjugating the Tavarans then? Or are we doing bad things?
We subjugated the Tavarans a long time ago. They're the human slave race. Yeah. We won the war with the Tavarans.
So we're bad people again. I thought we were coming out of that.
This was a couple centuries ago.
Okay.
This was in our lore. It's like 27th century or something.
I'm going to have a long talk with David again to figure out what's going on.
No, humanity is supposedly coming out of this dark. It got turned into an empire, and there was an imperator who ruled with an iron fist, and he had children and so on, and there were a couple generations of that. And then now it's more like later Rome, where it's a little bit insane.
Okay. Are you ready for Marcus' question from the Colonial Movers?
Sure.
Marcus is awesome. We always ask his questions because he always asks them so well. The Colonial Movers have been hiring a most excellent interior decorator who came to the conclusion that with our projected fleet, our hangar would grow rather wide. Sorry, not wild, but wide. Are there any plans to make the hangar grow more in height? Perhaps have a larger central bay with alcoves? Or will there be totally a new hangar for larger fleets and larger ships?
Well, for right now, as I guess folks have already seen with the Starfarer, we're doing one-off. Here's a room it'll fit in, but you can expect changes to the hangar down the road.
Okay. And Peter Cohen wants to know, will the Corvette have any heavy guns on it, or will its offensive firepower come solely from torpedoes? Will it have the option of perhaps both? Now, you said turret coverage, which means defensive fire. He's talking more about offensive fire.
I can't give any of that away yet. Not until it's done design, the design pass.
But you know essentially what it's going to look like. I mean, it's coming from your brain.
I know. I don't want to make any promises.
You got it.
Because I could see right now people are comparing the Idris M and the Idris P and what has what gun, and I don't want to muddy those waters more than I eventually will.
It's okay. I know how things go, and sometimes I try to goat you in just so I could see how you get out of it this time. Okay. I'm
happy to dodge questions.
Okay. Is the Corvette's main purpose to be a ship that will be able to protect capital ships, such as the Idris or Bengal carrier? If not, what's its main purpose?
Well, to some degree, yes, it's a skirmisher that kind of would be on the outer edges of a battle group. I mean, it's in a military capacity. It's also the cheap alternative, from a government standpoint, the cheap alternative to having a destroyer squadron or a cruiser or a carrier. Anyway, you assume, that Space Navy has, 5 or 10 carrier groups, and those are at the important flashpoints, and they're at the jump nexuses ready to respond to particular crises and so on. And then also, but that's 5 to 10 points in a galaxy with hundreds of jump points, hundreds of planets. So you need smaller ships that will go out there and stay on station and watch for Vandal.
Is there any way you guys could give the Carrack to Foundry 42 so I wind up with a much bigger ship than I bought?
No, that one's going to stay with Germach.
That one's what?
I'm going to stay with Germach.
Oh, okay. That's good. I like that. If it's going to stay with the original designer, I'm cool. The Polaris Corvette is roughly, this is from Pappy Boynton, roughly going to be about the size of the Carrack. Is that still true?
Seems about right.
All right. Is that ship going to make it into a Squadron 42 episode at some point?
No.
The Polaris? Okay.
No.
All right. Does the Gemini have the fuel scoop part present with an additional missile launcher part to swap out, or just the missile launcher part?
I think it comes with both and you can swap them out.
Okay, cool. Those are the big questions that we got this week. Most of the others were on pricing, and I think we talked about pricing. I didn't want to go and ask you 20 questions about pricing on the Blade. We know why the Blade is the price it is. It's supposed to be
It's an oddity.
And I think it makes sense. Now, in-game, you're not going to be able to buy that ship in-game the same way that you will others by going into like a dealer and buy it. You're going to have different ways for people to obtain it, right?
No, in fact, so the Blade, the fiction is that it is one of these aggressor spacecraft designed by Asperia. It probably will not be something that you ever would just go to a store and buy. I think this current lot of Blades will be on the secondary market in the game. People can buy and trade and swap them, but the actual way to get a Blade in the game will be to capture one from and then capture the genuine articles from the Vandal.
Okay, which would be different because if you capture a real Blade, then you have to have some kind of relationship with the Banu to be able to get replacement parts with it, as opposed to I'm assuming this, and I'm going to ask you this as a question then. Since a captured Blade would be Vandal and use Vandal parts, would the ones from Asperia use UEE parts that would be more easily to be gotten?
No, it's all supposed to be it's supposed to be a pretty exact replica. So with some minor exceptions like the computer interface and the chair and so on, it's pretty much the same Vandal.
Oh, the chair. So if it's a human being.
I mean, the thing we think of, or I think of when we came up with this backstory was during World War II, there was a B-29 that did it. It couldn't return. It came to landing in Russia, and since Russia was not at war with Japan at the time, they, by their rights, confiscated this aircraft, and Stalin instructed them to copy it exactly to build. I forget what the Russian does.
It looks exactly like it.
It's exactly the same, down to the flaws in that particular B-29, because the scientists or the engineers were so terrified of getting something wrong that, where a screw was stripped, it's also stripped of the Russian production version.
That's weird.
It's a fascinating story.
I remember when I saw that for the first time, I'm like, did we sell those to them? And then I read the whole story. That's exactly it. They let the crew go, but kept the ship and the plane and made replicas of it. And eventually they wound up moving away from that and building their own. I think that's where the bear and everything else came from. The Russian bear and bison and stuff. Yeah, pretty impressive. I look at it from a different point of view. I look at it from recently. There was a Moroccan jet that was purchased, and then it wound up in U.S. inventory as an aggressor. It was a MiG-29. Did you hear that story?
That's where we got some of the aggressor squadron stuff, is the U.S. continues to operate foreign aircraft as their aggressors.
Yeah, we have MiG-29s. We have F-16Ns that were purchased back in the the mid-1990s, and they're made to kind of represent MiG-29 flight performance. You had the A4s in Top Gun, right? That was supposed to be like MiG-21s.
And I really want to do a Star Citizen story at some point that is like our version of like Operation Lusty, where you have the guy going behind Vandal lines and collecting all these, like they did in World War II. They would go behind German lines as the war was ending and collect all the jets and rockets and things, and they bring them back to Silver Hill, Maryland, and test fly them.
Okay.
So I want to see how we got the Vandal ship examples in the first place.
That'd be cool. Well, I gotta be quiet. So Ben, the scythe and the glaive are broken right now.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, and that's why you can get through I had 18 fighters, Vandal fighters, go out of bounds because they can't turn right now. But I do have an idea, which I hope to release on the 1st of April, for April Fool's Day, on how the UEE actually gets Vandal fighters.
All right. Are you going to wait for April Fool's Day?
I am, and I'm going to have to send Sandy her script by this weekend so she could shoot just one little story on it. It would be funny. It should be funny because I'm going to see if I could get Kin Shadow and Marcus and a couple of other people to do things, but it's going to be mostly one of those silent montages since I'm not supposed to be talking right now. Okay? I think we talked enough. I'm going to let you go. That way you can go get whatever you have to do later today.
Oh, we're in the movies. We're all going to.
Oh, that's right. Get going. You got to go. You got to go. And Aaron's there this week.
Everybody except Chris is here. It's one of those weird swaps. So Chris and Ortwin are off in other places. Aaron and Tony are here. It's like when they change the cast of a TV show, but it's still pretty much the same.
I didn't ask Pappy's question the right way because it was about pricing on the Polaris. My idea is you don't know what pricing on the Polaris is going to be until after
I don't.
Yeah. But if you're looking at $350 for a Carrack, is there some way to draw a conclusion that for size it might be around the same price?
I don't think so, because it's going to be a lot of different, more military parts.
So it might be more expensive because of weaponry.
I won't say either way.
Okay, good. I'm not trying to get you locked into it. It's like people, just to give you an idea, the blade. When you guys, and I'm just going to put it to you this way, I'm okay with the pricing. I was a little shocked because I thought that by you not giving us a week and telling us what the price was going to be, that it was going to be less money. But in the future, if something's like going to be over $200, you might want to tell people so they could.
I'll say right here, we are going to be going back to the at least 1 week, giving out the pricing wherever we possibly can. We had a bunch of instances last year where we were not quite ready to commit that week out. This time we're going to try a lot harder.
Okay.
But yeah, with the next sale, we will let people know.
But that's a far way off. We're probably going to get something like the Dragonfly or something else first that's lower priced, right?
Next one will be probably lower priced. It's It's not the Dragonfly.
Oh, damn it. Sorry.
But it's from Misk if people want to start speculating.
Reliant?
No, it's a new ship.
Oh, one that we don't know about? Wait, Misk? Misk is very quickly becoming like the most prominent ship company out there.
That's no Aegis.
Yeah, well, Aegis is right now. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. And 2.4, do you think we'll see Reliant, or is that further out?
I will not speculate about 2.4.
All right, that's fine. Folks, that was my way of trying to get him to trip up, and there is no way to get Ben to trip up, okay?
Well, there are plenty of ways to get me to trip up.
Okay, Ben, well, people may think I'm drinking a drink, but I'm drinking grapefruit juice. I am really seriously trying to lose weight.
I've got sugar-free Monster.
Sugar-free. No. Sugar-free Monster? Does that taste good?
No,
okay.
It's not.
I'm like, why? All right, well, you have fun at Batman versus Superman, and hopefully you're as upset about Wonder Woman being short as I am, but she's supposed to be great at the part. The girl that played her.
I don't know if I'm that upset about her being short, but I'll see how she does.
Queen of the Amazon? She should be at least my height. All right, folks, that's all I got for you. Ben, thank you so much. I'm sorry to keep you for
no worries.
26 minutes. That's too long. Thanks, everybody, and we'll be back again next week, and then we'll have a 2-week hiatus, at which point I'll be back with a whisper of a voice talking to Ben. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.